Have you heard of the term race baiter? It's this thing that certain types of politicians and journalists love to accuse anybody who stands up against racism of being, that we're just always bringing race into everything, that we're just looking for stuff to call racist. Well, Alex Phillips is one such politician. She's a former MEP of the Brexit Party, now called the Reform Party. So she's very much allied with people like Nigel Farage, Richard Tice, that sort of person. In fact, Mr. Tate actually replied to this tweet supporting it. And she's saying that Bonnie Blue, sleeping with 1,000 men, needs to be taken as a learning lesson. As this is why we need to make sure we don't give a bad impression of white women to other communities. If you know that 64% of sexual offenses are committed by white people, if you know that grooming gangs are most commonly made of white men, but you only talk about threats to women coming from non-white communities, then you are literally and explicitly and intentionally ignoring the vast majority of threats to women. Put it this way, and I'm sorry for this analogy, it's the first one that came to my head. Imagine if I own 100 Dalmatians, and they were all shitting everywhere. And in my neighborhood, there are 120 dogs. And 20 dogs are also shitting everywhere. But I only ever complained about the other people's dogs shitting everywhere. I clearly do not give a shit about shit on the street. I just don't like those other people's dogs. So if you only complain about violence against women when it's perpetrated by people that are of a different skin color, you don't care about violence against women, especially if you're doing all this while closely allied with a party that has 5 MPs, one of which is a convicted woman beater. But he's white, so of course you don't talk about him and the effect that having a convicted woman beater in Parliament passing laws has on the perception of the importance of the safety of women among white communities. It's genuinely through the looking glass insane. She has Andrew Tate responding to her, a man who has admitted to deliberately taking advantage of financially vulnerable girls to push them into this industry, saying, yeah, women being treated as objects online is such a bad thing because it makes them more vulnerable to the black and brown people. This is a story that had absolutely nothing to do with race, but they're so obsessed with attacking black and brown people that they had to bring it in, but they still call us the race baiters.